You're listening to the X Zone Radio Show, live and around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network and X Zone Broadcast Network. Visit our website at www.xzoneradiotv.com.
The X Zone radio and TV show is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X Zone radio and TV show or in any manner endorsed by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, Talkstar Radio Network, its affiliated stations, or employees.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Welcome back to the X Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell, coming to you on the Talkstar Radio Network, X Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio, Euro High Definition Radio, and Star Cable, and our family of broadcast affiliates right across Canada, the United States, Central America, South America, the Caribbean, the Pacific Rim, Australia, Asia, India, Africa, and Europe. 1-800-610-7035 is toll-free. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com, and our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. My guest this hour is Shelly Campbell-Harvey, and Shelly is an author, speaker, and entrepreneur. She is living the abundant life with her two awesome children and grandson in radiant Southern California. Lucky Shelly. Shelly is a former educator who now spends her time writing, reading, creating, and enjoying time with her family. She has written 5 children's books, numerous articles, and is currently working on several projects, including an ebook coming out in June of this year. Her website, www.shellycampbellharvey.blogspot.com. And Shelly, welcome to the X Zone. How are things in sunny California today?
Great. Thanks so much for inviting me on your show, Rob.
It's great having you with us. So tell me, where did your inspiration to become an author come from?
Well, I actually started when I was a teenager. I used to watch all the sitcoms like Starsky and Hutch.
Oh, yeah.
And I would sit back in my room and write my own little episode versions of them. So I started quite young.
Now, tell me about the divine encounter that you had, your very first divine encounter.
Well, I have actually had several as an adult, but the most recent one was just a couple of years ago, just after I moved up to LA County from San Diego County to follow a teaching job. And my son and I arrived here, and about 3 days after the move, I had been feeling some pains on my right side, just kind of an ache. And I just thought, it was strenuous from moving and such. And I dropped him off on his first day of school, told him I was going to go into the hospital. We hadn't had time to get a doctor yet, being new to town. And as soon as I went in and explained the problem, they took me back and checked me out. And the next thing I know, they were telling me I had appendicitis. And so I had to call and let my sister know, who also lives up here, if she could pick my son up because I wasn't going to be out for a while. And come to find out, when I woke up, they said it had actually ruptured a couple of days previously, but somehow, they don't know how, it just held together enough that I did not die from it. So it was quite a close call, and they took care of it, released me after 5 days, and 6 hours later, after being released, I went back in with extreme pain in my chest and my back, couldn't hardly breathe.
All right, what we're going to do here is you and I are going to have a cliffhanger of our very own. See, we just write the script as we go along. Shelly Campbell-Harvey is my special guest, Exo Nation. Her website is www.shellycampbellharvey.blogspot.com. We'll come back and continue this story of she's just been out of the hospital after having an appendectomy because her appendix had burst a couple of days prior. She finds herself back in. We'll continue the cliffhanger on the other side of this commercial break as the X-Zone continues, live and around the world from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. My name's Rob McConnell. Don't go away.
They keep their boyfriends warm at night. I wish they all could be California. Don't give up on us, baby. Don't make the wrong seem right. The future isn't just one night. It's written in the moonlight and painted on the stars. We can't change ours. Don't give up on us, babe. We're still worth one more try. I know we put a last one by.
Speaking about Starsky and Hutch, that's David Soul singing Don't Give Up on Us, Baby. Shelly Campbell-Harvey's my special guest, Exo Nation. Now, before we went to the commercial break, Shelly was telling us how she had just moved to L.A. County from San Diego County. She hadn't had time to find a doctor yet. She had this droning ache in her right-hand side, dropped her son off at school, went to the hospital to find out that her appendix had bust. She called up her sister and said, listen, can you pick up the young guy at school? I'm going to be away for a little while. Then she gets released and ends up back in the hospital. All right, there we go. We're back to where we left off. Take it from here, Shelly.
All righty. Thank you again. Yes, it was quite a surprise. I was only released for 6 hours before being readmitted with extreme pain in my chest and back to find out I had pneumonia, an infection from the surgery, and multiple blood clots in both lungs. So family all over down in San Diego County were called. Everybody was gathering to find out what was going on. Mm-hmm. No one was sure of the outcome, and they readmitted me and immediately put me on medications. So it was quite scary for everyone, except it was very strange. I was the only one very peaceful and calm. I don't know why. It was as if God was just telling me everything's going to turn out fine. Just have faith, relax, and let me take care of it. So that's what I did. I just gave it up to Him. My sister had her church praying for me, had a pastor coming in. And when he came in, I wasn't sure if he was there to give me last rites or what.
Yeah, I would imagine.
So he says, no, I'm just there to pray for you. So I ended up being in there for almost 2 weeks.
My heavens.
And was released, and everything was fine, completely healed.
Now, was that the only time that you believe there was some divine intervention or encounter in your life?
Actually, I would say that was the third time in my adult life. There were 2 earlier instances that were just amazing, and all I can attribute it to is God.
Can you share them with us?
Certainly. The first, I would say, was when I was in my early 20s, and we won't say how long ago that was.
All right, six. All right, listen, I've got this scoop. That was 6 years ago.
Yeah, Yeah, right about that time.
Yeah.
There you go. That sounds like a good date.
Okay.
Yes, I was coming with a friend of mine who would then be my future husband. We were driving back from a visit up in Washington, state of Washington, and going over Snoqualmie Pass, which can be a little tricky in the wintertime. And it had turned to an icy snow mix, and our car lost control. And at that time, we were in this little gremlin. Those of you, I just dated myself with that one. And it hit an ice bank and went over the edge of a cliff. And we had no idea what was beyond that embankment and trees. But apparently, the car rolled in the air, landed on the ground, rolled down a ways, and came to a stop on all four tires that, even in the snow, were flattened. All the windows were broke out. My future husband and I were sitting with no seatbelts. All the windows broke out, and perfectly fine. There was a slight little scratch on my pinky and on one of his fingers. We were bruised, no broken bones, no concussion, nothing. And here it's about 7:30 at night, and here comes a snow crew out of nowhere. And what happened was there was a long embankment leading from one freeway or highway, going down, and then the other highway coming in the opposite direction. And we landed right before that road. And so they called Highway Patrol, who came and said, your car is totaled. Would you like a ride back into town? So we took it. He couldn't believe that we survived that with no seatbelts or anything.
That is miraculous.
Isn't it?
You have got to...
in a small car.
You have got to be one of the luckiest ladies I have ever talked to. And I have to ask you at this point, are you a religious person?
I wouldn't go so far as to say religious. That just gives me sort of a cult feeling. But I am definitely a Christian. At that time, I knew God, but I hadn't been a churchgoer, not praying every day. But I felt a closeness to God. And it wasn't until later, after I got married and had my daughter, that I actually was rebaptized and starting on the journey to become closer to God.
Do you think a person has to be religious to experience the type of miracles or divine intervention or angelic intervention that you definitely have had?
I would have thought so when I was younger, but the more I hear every day, and it seems like in recent years, more and more people that are non-believers and some that are in other religions, I have heard of many miracles all over the world. So it seems like God wants to bless everybody and is trying to make a point through all that.
Tell me, why do you think you experienced these miracles?
It's hard to say. The only thing I can think of is God just isn't through with me yet. It's just not my time. And I don't know if it's just things that have happened and he's pulled me out of it, or it was partially my decision and it wasn't time. But I just don't think he's done with me yet. I think he has more things for me to do in this life.
How do you deal with those people who have heard your stories, who have had the pleasure of meeting you in person, and they believe it's sheer coincidence, nothing to do with a miracle? How do you deal with that?
Well, I tell them, that's one of the things I don't argue is politics and religion, for one thing. And all I can do is share my story. And most of the time, in fact, I can't think of anybody that hasn't been anything but amazed at what I tell them. They hear and I hear of people in circumstances that were less severe than mine that have died. For instance, people dying of just one blood clot in their arm from a little surgery or something. So everybody's quite amazed when I share my stories.
Tell me, during your hospital stay, did you ever have an out-of-body experience, or did you see any angels, or did you hear any voices of comfort?
No voices, no angels, although I do believe in angels. But as bad as I was feeling, especially that first week, I wish I had an out-of-body experience.
Do you feel any different because of what happened to you?
I do. I think, especially this last time, having a younger son, he's 10 now, he was 8 at the time, and realizing how precious life is, it's just really made me focus on life. And I wake up every morning now and just thank God I'm alive and able to breathe and see the sun and enjoy my family.
So tell me, how do you feel that these near-death experiences, and I'm going to call them what I believe they are, these miracles, have changed your life?
It's made me feel a little more focused on people and trying to be a blessing to others and not taking life for granted so much and just going day to day like I used to, getting caught up in everyday life. Now I try to really focus and make each minute count.
Focus on what?
On what I'm doing, trying not to waste time so much. And I don't mean not ever relax, because we all need relaxation.
Sure.
But just really thinking of focus, what is my purpose in life? And trying to use each day to move forward in that, just appreciate my family and friends, and just do what I can to make the world a better place.
Tell me about the books that you write, and do the books or the articles that you write ever reflect on your experiences that you've had?
Most of them, I've done 5 children's books, and the one I'm working on right now, in a way, does reflect my life's focus. I just started it this year. It's called Guerrilla Goodness, A Revolution of Kindness. And it's due out this fall. And that reflects more my life's purpose on appreciating life and instances where people have shown that random kindness to others, and just listing ways that we can show just from the littlest things to the biggest things. So much focus in the news is on the bad things that are happening.
Gosh,
I think we need some light shown on the good things that we can do and that have been done.
Do you think that in these days that more and more people are looking for that light, looking for the good to do for others than, let's say, prior to 9/11?
I think so. I think it seems like since 9/11, there have been so many more instances of just natural disasters, currently with Guatemala, Ecuador, the terrible things happening there, just all over. People are looking for hope somewhere, even if they don't believe in God. They're looking for some hope. And so I hope, books like mine and others will give them that hope, something to hold on to. It's pretty tough time to be raising kids.
It sure is. Please stand by. You and I have to take our commercial break with the news. But before we go to the news, X-Zone Nation, the X-Chronicles newspaper is out. If you'd like to get a complimentary link, courtesy of all our advertisers in the X-Chronicles newspaper, all you have to do is send me an email to xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. That's xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. And I'll be glad to send you a link. Now, once you're at the paper, you can download it onto more than 16 mobile devices. You can download it into your computer. You can print it out. It's yours, 100% free to do with what you want. Once again, compliments of all of the advertisers in the X-Chronicles newspaper. You can also visit our website at www.xchronicles-newspaper.com. Shelly Campbell-Harvey is my special guest. Her website is www.shellycampbellharvey.blogspot.com. And we'll be back on the other side of the news as the X-Zone continues from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, right here on the Talkstar Radio Network, X-Zone Broadcast Network, Euro High Definition Radio, UK High Definition Radio, and Star Cable. Don't go away.
Well, here we are again. So now I've got to have major surgery. It really kind of bothers me a little bit. So the doc said to me, you need to go see the surgeon. So off I go to see the surgeon. I found out who the best ones are from talking around all my friends at the hospital. And then I find out that the best ones are the ones that the nurses in the hospital can tell you about. So I checked around, didn't I? And Will here on my left here, he's got a friend at the hospital who's a nurse, so we asked her, and then they asked around even more. So we got down to brass tacks and we found the one we liked. So off I go, and then he starts talking to me with the nurse. Remember the nurse practitioner lady we talked about before? She's still there. Of course, she's nice. She must have moved from her other job to this surgeon, because there she was again. Funny thing, isn't it? And what a small world we live in. Anyhow, so he says, do you have a living will? I said, what? What are you talking about Will for here on my left here? Will's alive, isn't he? He said, no, living will. No, so I said, hang on a minute, mate. I'm going to go back and make sure Will's still alive, aren't I? So off I go, and here's Will. Yeah, he's still alive. And I said to Will, you're alive. Everybody's talking about you being a living will. Well, I know you're alive, Will. He said, Alfie, calm down now, calm down. He says, you know, I'm the sensible one of the two of us. I thought, cool, blimey, that's a lie for starters. Anyhow, he said, a living will is that if you're in a position, I hope to God I'm never like that, where I can't make a decision on my future health, like if you're in I hate to say the word, coma, there's somebody else that you designate can make decisions on your behalf. I thought, well, blimey, that sounds good, I suppose, but I look at Will. Can you imagine giving my decisions to Will? And I thought, I better really think about this real seriously. So a living will is where you designate somebody to be responsible for your care if you're not in a position to do so. And I thought, well, blimey, that's a good thing. And then I found, where we live here in Kentucky, for instance, you just go onto the, here we go again, website, and you find out, and they've got a form and all that you can fill out. So remember, make sure you got a living will, because blimey, I don't want to be left to all the doctors, not some trusted friend, well, not Will, but somebody else I can really trust. Living will. Make sure you got one now. Cheers. Talk to you next week.
For more information on Jeff Knott and Alfie, visit his website at www.navigatingthehealthcaremaze.com.
You're listening to the X-Zone Radio Show, live and around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network and X-Zone Broadcast Network. Visit our website at www.xzoneradiotv.com.
Wave goodbye. Now it seems years I'm back in the
If I could grant you one wish, I wish you could see the way you kiss. Ooh, I love watching you, baby, when you're driving me crazy. Ooh, I love the way you love the way.
Welcome back, everyone. Shelly Campbell-Harvey is my special guest this hour. Her website is www.shellycampbellharley.blogspot.com. You know, Shelly, you've gone through quite a bit in your life with the appendicitis, with going over the cliff in your car with your future husband. I have to ask you, do you think you're still going to have more of these encounters, and doesn't it scare you?
It does, in a way, not knowing the future and not knowing what God holds for me, but I think that's just a test of faith, that I just have to have courage in Him, that He has a plan for me, and I have to go along. As to whether I think there may be more miracles, I hope not. I hope everything just goes nice and quiet now for the rest of my time, but I do hope He continues to bless us and just continue to take care of us like he has in the past.
Tell me, have you ever seen an angel? Because a lot of people who have the type of miracles that you've had, in my experience doing the show now for nearly 20 years, always talk about seeing an angel or the unexpected appearance and disappearance of someone who played a pivotal part in their miracle that they can't account for.
Right. I have heard of people seeing angels, and I don't dispute that that is probably true. I believe in angels, but I have not been fortunate enough to experience that.
All right. From your point of view, is there a connection between the power of prayer and divine healing, or miracles for that matter?
Oh, most definitely. I strongly believe that. Being a Christian, especially in the Bible, God says when two or more people get together and pray about the same thing, their prayers will be answered. So I strongly believe that the prayer that was going on for my life during that time I was in the hospital, that sincerely helped me with the healing that went on.
Do you think that we are actually in the end days as foretold in the Bible, and we should get all our acts together?
You know, it seems like it, especially with all the natural disasters that seem to be happening one after another, the oil spill and everything. But I wouldn't go to make a rush. I mean, we should be conscious of what we're doing anyway every day and making sure that if it is the end days, then we can approach God when Judgment Day happens with at least a fairly clean slate.
Why did you decide to write children's books?
I don't know if I really decided. I mean, the ideas just come to me. I have a book with probably 70-plus ideas that are categorized anywhere from children's books to adult fiction and nonfiction. And as ideas come, when I'm out and about, I have a notepad I keep in my purse. I just write the ideas down and log it into my notebook. And when I get a chance, when I'm done with one project, I look through and just start on the other one.
As an author, have you seen a difference in between the very first book you wrote that has been published and the different books that you're working on now?
I do. I like to think that I have grown and my work has gotten better. I just received a critique recently from a very prominent literary agent who said my writing is great, she loves it. And so I definitely clipped that out, and I keep that. It's just a growing process. You know, I set it aside for a while in raising a family and have recently gotten back to it, and am always trying to learn from people that I admire, that are good writers and literary agents and editors who read and communicate, you know, what's good, what's bad, what they're looking for. So hopefully it is getting better.
What does your family think about Mom being an author?
Oh, they're definitely supportive. I have a 22-year-old daughter and then my 10-year-old son. And in fact, one of the children's books was co-authored by my son. And that hopefully is coming out in November.
What's that book about?
It is called The 12 Days of My Christmas. And it's from a 10-year-old's point of view and the unique gifts that he receives from different people the 12 days before Christmas. And it's pretty hilarious. He already has another idea for a sequel on the 12 gifts he can give to people.
So it seems that writing runs in the family.
It does. It does. My sister Charlene is a screenwriter, and my sister Shannon is a mystery writer. So I think it does.
So as you were growing up, did you ever think that one day you would be an accomplished author and that your life would have taken as many turns as it has because of the miracles that you've had?
I actually didn't, but I am very happy with the way my life has gone. I love my children and family, love being a writer. When I was a teenager and was really involved in it, it was funny because I didn't pick that as something that I would be doing.
What's the hardest part about being a writer in these days?
It is pretty difficult. The percentage is about 3% that actually get published and become successful. So it's not great odds, but I think the key that I've been learning recently is most of it is self-promotion. You have to get your name out there. You have to get your work out there. So the publishers, they have a limited amount of time and finances to put towards marketing. So I've been trying to learn all I can about what I can do to get my name and the books out there.
The internet now with ebooks, self-publish, publish on demand, is this making it better for authors who cannot get into a publishing house? And what's the difference between an author who does everything on their own compared to an author who gets signed by, let's say, a company like HarperCollins?
Well, I think there's still a little more prestige connected with authors that are published by traditional publishers. But then you take a look at Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen with the Chicken Soup for the Soul books. Those were all self-published in their early years. And it wasn't until really recently that they were taken over by Random House and they bought their contract up. So it's kind of iffy. It's almost a political, if you would, edge to it. The traditional published authors feel that that's the only way to go, and self-published authors are like, well, that's fine and good if you have years and years to wait, but for those that just want to get their work out there and get the information that they're trying to write out there, then a lot of times self-publishing is the way to go.
So can we look at self-publishing as a springboard for the aspiring author to get their works out to the public and hopefully into the hands of a publishing house?
It's a strong possibility. I think it's becoming more and more frequent, and self-publishing business itself is becoming more widely recognized and accepted.
So if someone was to sit down with you and say, listen, Shelly, I've got this idea for a book. How do you suggest I go and pursue this idea? What would you tell them?
Well, I'd tell them if you wake up every morning and you just can't wait to get to your typewriter, your computer, your pad and pencil, and write what's on your mind, and it's something you could do all day long and not get tired of it, then you've got the beginnings, you've got the passion to become a writer. Then the next step would be check into it. Read as much as you can. Study the authors in the area that write the same type of material as you do so that you can learn from them, learn the style, learn what's required. And then from that point, try and get an agent to help represent your work.
You know, I remember, this must have been about 2 or 3 years ago. I bought a book that was published by an author, self-published, and it was one of these print-on-demands. I sent them an email back, and I said, you should really get an editor because the message he was trying to get across certainly didn't come across in his book, and there were typos, there were grammatical errors, and I give them E for effort, but edit your book, check it, go over it. Once you've done that, pass it to somebody else. And I think a lot of people who are just starting out are afraid of rejection. That's why they just self-publish. And I know that as much as the internet is an asset to people, at other times it can shoot them right down and they'll never get up from the fall.
This is so true, and that's very good advice. If you are thinking of self-publishing, definitely put the little bit of money out there. It's worth it to get an editor, make sure it is professional. Check out the print-on-demand publishers. There's quite a selection out there, and not everybody is really, really good. So I would say check around, check with other people that have self-published, people that are well-respected, that have done quite a bit. Check with them, do some comparisons, and then make a decision. Some people, they just want to get their message out there. They don't really care that much about being, a billionaire and all that. So self-publishing is the route that they would probably want to take just to get their information out there.
But once again, even though you self-publish, you still have to get out and market the merchandise. Even if you're carried by some publishers, they only, like you said, have a limited marketing budget for your project. You still have to go out and do the personal appearances. You still have to go out there, get on the talk shows. You still have to get out there and get the reviews done. You have to sell yourself 24 hours a day.
You sure do. You sure do. And at first, it's a lot of hard work because you're not well known. Mm-hmm. And most of the time when authors are starting out, they don't have a big budget. They don't have thousands of dollars that they can put into it. So the best idea is to check around on the internet, find out where all these free and low-cost marketing ends are. There's a lot of ideas and information out there where it doesn't cost anything to get yourself marketed. There's ideas for self-promotion, like doing book events. I'm going to be doing one this Friday when my ebook comes out. I'm connecting with a local ice cream store and doing author signing. Since it's an ebook, I don't have the books to give out, but I'll be signing the bookmarks that have the book information on them and doing some giveaways for about an hour.
All right, stand by, Shelly. You and I have to take our final break. Shelly Campbell-Harvey is my special guest. www.shellycampbellharvey.blogspot.com. I'll be back on the other side of this break as the X Zone continues from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Dare to believe, dare to be heard. My name's Rob McConnell. Don't go away.
I love the way you love me. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. Ooh, to feel the way I feel with your arms around me. I only wish that you could see.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on a shelf in
Shelly Campbell-Harvey is our special guest. Her website is www.shellycampbellharvey.blogspot.com. And tell me, what lies in the future for our friend Shelly?
Well, hopefully continued good health and a lot of published books. I would love to go on another cruise, which I did in the past and found I loved it. And I'm not a water person, but just continued opportunities to really be a blessing and have a chance to help others.
What would you like to leave the members of the X Zone Nation with tonight?
Well, never have a closed mind. Always keep your mind open to what's out there. There's a lot of miraculous things going on, and just search out for the truth in everything you do.
You know, it's funny because people say, I've never had a miracle, I've never seen a miracle, and yet I point them to the very simplest things in life because I believe life is a miracle. When you see a child smile, when you see a butterfly go by, when you see a flower growing, when you hold the hand of the person you love, when you hug your children, to me, each and every one of these are a miracle.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I agree with that so much, and that's part of the change that I was talking about earlier in my life focus, is being aware of just the littlest things, just waking up in the morning and seeing the sun streaming in the window. That, to me, is a miracle because I get one more day.
One more day to make a difference.
That's it.
when you were in the hospital and your family was called down, I'm sure everybody was thinking the worst. Where did you find the inner strength, or where did you get the inner strength from to pull you through?
It definitely, I have to credit it to God. I don't know what would have happened if I didn't know God and have Him in my life. I wouldn't have had any hope to hold on to. My family was there, but deep down, what can they do? They're human just like me. And when I sat there and the doctor was telling me, you have multiple blood clots in your lungs, you have pneumonia, you have this and that, all I could think about was, I'm an older mom. I have 2 kids, and I'm not done raising my child yet. I don't feel that my life is over. And I just felt this calm and peace over me. And I think it has to do with my belief and my faith in God, just trusting Him to take care of things.
Shelly, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a great pleasure. Continued success, and we look forward to talking to you again here in the X Zone.
Thank you so much, Rob. I've truly enjoyed being on your show. Thank you for inviting me.
You take care of yourself now. X Zone Nation, Shelly Campbell-Harvey has been my guest this hour. www.shellycampbellharvey.blogspot.com. That's shellycampbellharvey.blogspot.com. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break and the news at 6.5 minutes past as the X Zone continues on the Talkstar Radio Network, X Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio, Euro High Definition Radio, and Star Cable. We'll be back. Don't go away.